Hare Krishna. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Oops, yipes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Woo! Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, oh, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Jesus, Prabhupada, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhar, Shivasari, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Woo! Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Oh, my Lord Krishna! Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Woo! Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama. All right, let's chant without them for a little bit. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare. You can open your microphones if you want. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Prabhupada, Prabhu Nityananda, Srila Prabhupada, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Jesus, Srila Prabhupada, Krishna Chaitanya, Jesus, Srila Prabhupada, Jesus, Srila Prabhupada, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Jesus, Srila Prabhupada, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Jesus, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Jesus, Srila Prabhupada, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, 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 oh my Lord. Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Nityananda, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Oh my Lord, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda. Oh,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Chaitanya, Nityananda, Nityananda,
Hare Krishna,
Nityananda,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama,
Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri
Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya,
Chaitanya,
Krishna Chaitanya,
Shri
Krishna
Chaitanya,
Chaitanya,
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna,
Krishna Chaitanya,
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare
Rama Rama, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Rama Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Rama
Rama
Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama 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 Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Rama
Hare, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna
Rama
Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
Krishna Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Krishna
Rama
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Hare
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama
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 Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare
Jaya
Rama Hare
Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Chaitanya.
Jaya
Oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Sri Chaitanya Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Okay, we're reading from Chaitanya Bhagavat, and I'll be right back. I just have to, you can continue chanting until I come back. Just shut the generator off.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare
All
Krishna.
glories, all glories. Sorry to cut you off, but you'll always chant ecstatically. All glories to Lord Gaurachandra, the life and soul of all living entities. All glories to Lord Gaurachandra, the life and soul of all living entities. May my memory constantly embrace his lotus feet. Within his heart, Lord Nityananda was certain that Lord Vishwambara, who now stood before him, was none other than his beloved Supreme Lord. Overwhelmed with bliss, Lord Nityananda Prabhu was stunned in ecstasy. Krishna. Overwhelmed by bliss, Lord Nityananda Prabhu was stunned in ecstasy. He stood unblinking and he stared unblinkingly at the beautiful face of the Lord. Upon seeing the bewildering beauty of the form of the Lord, upon seeing the bewilderingly beautiful form of the Lord, Nityananda wanted to taste the beauty with his tongue, drink the beauty with his eyes, embrace the beauty with his arms, and absorb the beauty with his nose. To everyone's astonishment, Lord Nityananda stood speechless, completely enchanted by the wondrous splendor of the Lord. Upon seeing the bewilderingly beautiful form of the Lord, Nityananda wanted to taste the beauty with his tongue, drink the beauty with his eyes, embrace the beauty with his arms, and absorb the beauty with his nose. To everyone's astonishment, Lord Nityananda stood speechless, completely enchanted by the wondrous splendor of the Lord. Lord Gaurachandra is the super soul within everyone's heart. Therefore, he knew Lord Nityananda's heart. Thus, Gaurachandra acted to reveal his hidden identity to Lord Nityananda and the depth of Lord Nityananda's devotion to the Lord. Wearing a peacock feather ornament upon his head, wearing a peacock feather ornament upon his head, wearing a peacock feather ornament upon his head, flowers, blue kinakara on his ears, a yellow garment as brilliant as gold, and a Vijayanti garland, Lord Krishna exhibited his transcendental form as the greatest of dancers as he entered the forest of Vrindavan, beautifying it with marks of his footprints. He filled the holes of his flute with the nectar of his lips, and the cowherd boys sang his glories. The Lord indicated to Srivas to recite a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:21-5. Srivas understood and immediately recited the sloka, which described the beauty of Lord Krishna. At that time, Krishna entered the forest of Vrindavan. 10:21-5. We'll go there. Oops, wrong thing. 10, 21, 5. 10, 21, 5. 10, 21. 10, 21, 5. 4 first. The cowherd girls began to speak about Krishna. The cowherd girls began to speak about Krishna. The cowherd girls began to speak about Krishna. But when they remembered his activities, O king, the power of Cupid disturbed their minds, and they could not speak. Wearing a peacock feather ornament upon his head, blue kanikara flowers on his ears, a yellow garment as brilliant as gold, a yellow garment as brilliant as gold, a yellow garment as brilliant as gold, a yellow garment as brilliant as gold. A yellow garment as brilliant as gold. And a Vigilanti garland. And a Vigilanti garland. And a Vigilanti garland. Lord Krishna exhibited his transcendental form as the greatest of dancers. As he entered the forest of Vrindavan, beautifying it with the marks of his footprints, beautifying it with the marks of his footprints, beautifying it with the marks of his footprints, beautifying it with the marks of his footprints. He filled the holes of his food with the nectar of his lips. He filled the holes of his flute with the nectar of his lips. He filled the holes of his flute with the nectar of his lips, and the cowherd boys sang his glories. And the cowherd boys sang his glories. Wearing a peacock feather ornament upon his head, wearing a peacock feather ornament upon his head, wearing a peacock feather ornament upon his head. Blue kanikara flowers on his ears, blue kanikara flowers on his ears. O king, when the young ladies in Vraj heard the sound of Krishna's flute, O king, when the young ladies of Vraj heard the sound of Krishna's flute, which captivates the minds of all living beings, which captivates the minds of all living beings. Which captivates the minds of all living beings. They all embraced one another and began describing it. They all embraced one another and began describing it. They all embraced one another and began describing it. O king, the cowherd girl said, "Oh, friends." Cowherd girl said, "Oh, friends, oh, friends, those whose eyes who see." Oh, friends, those whose eyes who see. Oh, friends, those whose eyes who see. Who see the beautiful faces of the sons of Maharaj Nanda. O friends, those whose eyes who see the beautiful faces of the sons of Maharaj Nanda are certainly fortunate as those two sons enter the forest, as those two sons enter the forest, surrounded by their friends, surrounded by their friends, surrounded by their friends. Driving the cows before them, driving the cows before them, They hold their flutes to their mouths and glance lovingly upon the residents of Vrindavan. They hold their flutes to their mouths and glance lovingly upon the residents of Vrindavan. They hold their flutes to their mouths and glance lovingly at the residents of Vrindavan. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Glance For those who have eyes, we think there is no greater object of vision. For those who have eyes, we think there is no greater object of vision. For those who have eyes, we think there is no greater object of vision. Oh, Krishna. Dressed in a charming variety of garments, dressed in a charming variety of garments, upon which their garlands rest, dressed in a charming variety of garments, upon which their garlands rest, and decorating themselves with peacock feathers, lotuses, lilies, newly grown mango sprouts, and clusters of flower buds. Krishna and Balaram shine forth magnificently among the assembly of the cowherd boys. They look just like the best of dancers appearing on a dramatic stage, and sometimes they sing. Chaitanya Bhagavat back. As soon as Nityananda Prabhu heard this verse, he fell down unconscious. While Lord Nityananda lay in ecstatic bliss, Lord Chaitanya exhorted Srivas Pandit, recite more, recite more. After some time, Nityananda Prabhu regained his external consciousness. He began crying tears of love. After some time, Nityananda Prabhu regained external consciousness. And he began crying tears of love. And he began crying tears of love. And he began crying tears of love. Crying tears of joy. He began crying tears of joy. He began crying tears of joy. The more he heard the verses, the more they increased his mad love for Krishna. The more he heard the verses, the more they increased his mad love for Krishna. The more he heard the verses, the more it increased his mad love for Krishna. His ecstatic roaring filled the universe and pierced through the covering of the material world. His ecstatic roaring filled the universe and pierced through the covering of the material world. Lord Nityananda leapt up, and as he crashed down to the ground, everyone thought that the bones of his body were smashed. Seeing this, the Vaishnavas became very afraid and loudly uttered, Krishna, please save him. Krishna, please save him. Lord Nityananda rolled on the ground. Lord Nityananda, Lord Nityananda rolled on the ground. Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda rolled on the ground. Lord Nityananda rolled on the ground. Lord Nityananda rolled on the ground, his body covered with tears of love. 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 Krishna. Krishna. Oh. Mm. Long reoccurrent sighs escaped his mouth. Long reoccurrent sighs escaped his mouth as he looked deep into the Lord Vishvara's face. Lord Nityananda felt great ecstasy. Lord Nityananda felt great ecstasy. And often he laughed aloud. Sometimes he jumped and danced, and sometimes he wrestled, and other times he hung his head quietly. Lord Gaurachandra and all the devotees began to cry in joy, seeing such total absorption and madness in love of Krishna. It became impossible for Vishvambara to hold Nityananda still. It became impossible for the Vaishnavas to hold Lord Nityananda still. When the devotees failed, Lord Vishvambara held Lord Nityananda in his embrace. As soon as Chaitanya embraced Nityananda, Nityananda immediately became still. The Lord to whom he was absolutely surrendered. 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 Now embraced him. The Lord to whom he was absolutely surrendered now embraced him. Nityananda Prabhu allowed himself to be held without endeavor. Lord Chaitanya flooded Lord Nityananda with ecstatic tears of love. Lord Chaitanya flooded Nityananda with ecstatic tears. Lord Chaitanya flooded Nityananda with ecstatic tears of love. The arrow of ecstatic love of Krishna had affected Nityananda, and Chaitanya held him just like Ramachandra held Lakshman when he lay unconscious, drained of all strength. The arrow of ecstatic love of Krishna, the arrow of ecstatic love of Krishna had affected Nityananda and Chaitanya, held him just as Ramachandra held Lakshman when he lay unconscious, drained of all strength. Both Nityananda and Chaitanya wept, overwhelmed with joy. The intensity of love between Chaitanya and Nityananda can be properly described only by the example of the loving relationship between Ramachandra and Lakshman. Nityananda came out of his ecstatic trance, and all the devotees began loudly chanting Hari's name. Vishwambara was embracing Nityananda, and Gadadhar Pandit smiled, thinking how their lordships' roles had been reversed. He thought, Nityananda Prabhu, as Ananta Sesh, renders service to Lord Vishwambara by becoming the bed upon which Nityananda always rests. However, today, the pride as servitor has been broken, and he lies in Vishwambara's embrace. Oops. Mm-hmm. Krishna. Gadadhar Pandit was well aware of Nityananda's potencies, and the Supreme Lord Nityananda Prabhu knew the innermost thoughts of Gadadhar Pandit. All the devotees were jubilant upon meeting Lord Nityananda, and their minds steeped in thoughts of him. The ecstasy that Vishwambara and Nityananda experienced in their meeting is impossible to portray through words, but is found in expression and continuous tears of joy from their eyes that drench the earth. The ecstasy Lord Vishwambara and Lord Nityananda experienced in their meeting is impossible to portray through words, but it is found in expression and continuous joy of tears of joy from their eyes that drench the earth. Lord Vishwambara said, "This is the most glorious day in my life. Today I have found the embodiment of loving devotion to the Supreme Lord, the essence of the four Vedas. Only the Supreme Lord himself can manifest such intense ecstasy." Okay, so that's really the essence. That's perfect truth. Okay, perfect truth. Okay, I'll read it again. Oh boy, come on. Why'd you do that? I have seen. This is the most glorious day of my life. See, the most glorious day of life. Today I have seen the embodiment of loving devotion to the Supreme Lord. So there you go. This is the most glorious day of everybody's life, whether they know it or not, is to see the embodiment, see where loving devotion is embodied. See? So the Lord is teaching the truth. See, this is why the Lord begins to wake up in association of devotees. Because the Lord, this is the Lord, this is the most glorious day of my life with this living entity that I've been going through so many lifetimes with. Finally, I got a glorious day. I see the embodiment of loving devotion before my eyes. Because all I've been seeing in all these incarnations is the shadow and darkness, and that just keeps me asleep. Keeps the living entity asleep. There she is, our tigress. The wild one.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Glad to be here. Glad to be home.
Oh, good. Glad to see you home. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. The ecstasy. Yeah. So, yeah. So, this is the most glorious day of my life. Today I have seen the embodiment of loving devotion to the Supreme Lord. See, the Lord is trying to teach the living entities like this by acting as in like a person, like, oh wow, this is really amazing, especially when you understand what is really valuable. Everybody is being this flute of the Krishna is attracting everybody in this world. Everybody's hearing the flute, but it's the shadow form. See, and they're attracted to that. See, so it attracts all living entities. So the Lord comes here, he comes with his devotees, to attract them, by this pure flute song that gives pure joy, pure happiness, pure, purification instead of pollution and contamination. See, pure love that is eternal instead of this love of the in the shadow, his shadow that embrace. People very easily love, a man or a woman or attracted like this, but it's iron like, and it just it results in ultimately, pain and suffering and more lifetimes. But this cuts us free forever. So that's why the Lord is here. And that ultimately, for all these rules, regulations Vaishnavas are doing are leading to see devotees with bhakti, with real devotion. See, like this, the embodiments of devotion where it is. Otherwise, first of all, they don't know what it is. They don't know its glories. They don't know how important it is because, you can follow all the rules you want and study all the Vedas. But if you're not attracted to devotion and devotees who have devotion and go through the process of purification so that you can become attracted to this pure devotion, how are you going to go back to the spiritual world? You're not attracted here. How are you going to be attracted there? There'll always be this gap of contamination in you. See, it's still in you. That's why it has to be exorcised. You notice that the Christians have exorcism and we have exorcism here. Has to, because these modes are inside everybody, keeping them adverse. Like two opposite sides of a magnet pushing against. Like this. So when one is ready, they listen to transcendental knowledge like this, practical, and handle their process of purification so they can become attracted like these devotees, or even like some of these devotees in our Sangha. See, this is, hey man, this is going to get you out of this material universe forever. Otherwise, you're stuck here. You're stuck with these beings. Sometimes the demigods are there and you have a good time for a while. Then the demons take control like now. Look at it. All lies, deception. Look at the unhappiness. Yeah, look on Facebook, man. Look at all the, cops beating up people. You notice that? They have a whole thing. Cops are beating up people, coming like ogres and like tyrants. Well, that's the modes of nature, man. That's it. And sometimes it's good. And then these guys, they're trying to fight for their rights again, so, and who knows, they may win, may not, but probably won't. If you fight that way, the best way to fight this thing is to surrender. Wave the white flag and surrender to the devotees and the devotees' path they teach. Become attracted to Krishna's transcendental calling. His flute, his word. What's keeping these people there? They're listening to all this talk, people fighting this or people saying, come to this, listen to our bullshit, or fighting the bullshit. So these are the words, man. See, it's all words. It's all words. It's all Krishna's flute in the Maya, in his shadow. This is the flute song and the illusion. Come, like those sirens, get the sailors. Sounds really sweet. Then they come and they gobble you up. That's the Lord's Maya is like this. Oh, he said, come like this. See? So no, man, when the ecstatic devotees here, it's the opportunity for everybody, whether you're in the world, whether you're a demon, a demigod, or a Vaidhi Bhakta, student community, the last ones to come to Lord Chaitanya. Can you imagine? Okay? But when they saw their good sense and they heard the right understanding, then they realized, oh, look at this. This is our opportunity. Because you got to understand, like Lord Chaitanya taught, you can follow all the rules and regulations you want, study all the Vedas, but if you're not attracted to devotion and devotees who have devotion and bhakti, then it is futile. Everything you did, you failed. You'll come again. Oh, maybe you'll be a demigod, but so what, man? Demigods, they come back here, and then the demons come and conquer them sometimes, and they're miserable and thrown in jail, like now. All these demigod types they know better what's going on. They know they're being lied to and cheated, and they're fighting against them. What do? They get thrown in jail. It's always the same shit. It happened 5,000 years ago. The kings, the good kings and everything, they got thrown in jail by the demons and had to sit there for 15 years. And then they realized, you know what? We were puffed up. We didn't worship the Lord properly and enough because we got all this opulences and thought we were great. It's like these gurus, you know. A lot of them are good gurus, but they're puffed up, man. They're not attracted to devotion. They like their followers and all. See, they like to be like kings. Okay? Not attracted to devotion. You want to be a king? Become attracted to devotion, and then you become glorified. I was reading this here. Yeah, this is the first verse. I'm going back to this. Such a really wonderful thing, but I was in the midst of something else, relishing something. Couldn't talk about it. Here it is. All glories to Gaurachandra, the life and soul of all living entities. May my memory constantly embrace his lotus feet. It's not there. Yeah. And may those living entities, I'll just repeat it. May those who worship his lotus feet are glorified. The most glorified are the most glorified. See? They're glorified. The Lord is, he's like, this is the thing. Now the Lord overshadows you, who is glorious. See? So when people look at you, they begin to see the nature of the Lord. That's why some people are adverse. That's why Jesus said, hey man, rejoice. Your reward in the kingdom of God is great when people spit on you, because that's the kind of the way it is. Those who, those who are adverse, that they glorify the Lord by spitting on the Lord and his devotees. They say, oh, you are the lowest among men. And that's a glorification. Yeah, because devotees and the Lord have that nature of feeling themselves the lowest of all men. Yeah, you're right. Thank you very much for sharing the truth. Okay? So even the Maya glorifies indirectly. And when you understand, when the Lord gives you the mercy, then you see how it is. That's why devotees are tolerant and they smile when people, when Shishupal was saying, he was blaspheming Krishna, and Krishna was sitting there just smiling. Yeah, okay, yeah. And it was all indirect glorification of Krishna. You are the lowest of the low. Yeah, that's true. Even though the Lord is so glorious and everything, he was washing the feet of all the guests. See, lowest of the low, he was doing that. And everybody else, oh, no, I'm not, you should be washing my feet. Yeah. Eventually, per the prediction, he cut his Shishupal's head, and then Shishupal entered his body, was liberated. See, entered his transcendental body. This is what we need to do. Not be meditating on the Mayak body, this material illusions. Ugh. So the Lord, to whom he was absolutely surrendered, now embraced him. See, this is the idea of surrender. When you surrender, you can tell that with your chanting. When you really surrender to the chanting, to the name like this, then, it's like you're developing a friendly relationship with Krishna, and he embraces you. You feel it. You feel embraced by the Lord, and you're embracing the Lord. He embraces you. This is the right chanting when it becomes effective. You become purified. You trust the name, and you surrender to the name. See, all the 9 processes of devotional service Lord Chaitanya taught are in the name. You're hearing, you're chanting, you're remembering the name, you're remembering Krishna, and you're surrendering. See, surrendering to the name, surrendering to the chanting. Okay, like this, and then you enter into this friendship. The Lord begins to embrace you, and you feel this transcendental embrace. See, and this friendship begins. You realize, oh my Lord, you're my real friend. Look at this, your blissful self in your name, as your name. is here to purify me. Thank you so much. See, all these, this is wonderful truths. Yeah. So, yeah. So, where's this here? Uh-huh. I have seen the embodiment of loving devotion to the Supreme Lord, the essence of the four Vedas. So this is the whole purpose. The essence of the four Vedas is loving devotion to the Lord. The essence of the Bible is loving. Even Jesus, he asked Nicodemus, what is the essence of the scriptures in the Bible? He says, to love thy Lord with all thy heart, all thy mind, and all thy soul. And a lot of people think you got to try to do that. Well, not in that exactly as people are thinking. See, this is natural. This is the Lord came here to awaken spontaneous devotional love of God that's latent in the heart of everybody by relishing these mellows. See, so that's the essence of all the scriptures. And Jesus said, you're not very far from the kingdom, to Nicodemus. You know why? He was close because there he was seeing the embodiment of loving devotion, Jesus Christ. So he was close, but still that had to enter him, not just be outside. See? So it begins when you see it and you become attracted to the devotees who manifest the embodiment of devotion. That's your beginning. See, your life is starting to become glorious just by seeing that. See? And now you're close to the kingdom because now you see it, at least with your eyes. You don't understand it. Just like people, they see Prabhupada's books, they read Prabhupada's books, but don't understand them very well, do they? But now they do. Whoever comes here, see, coming closer. So see, so the the essence of the four Vedas is the loving devotional service of the Lord. Can you imagine all that study people are doing in ISKCON and Gaudiya Smriti and Gaudiya Math of Prabhupada's books or Goswami books is leading to understand, this is the essence, is this loving devotional service, and to ask the question, where is it? Because I don't have it. Honesty, repentance. I don't have it. I'm studying and I see look at these devotees, but I don't have this quality. Where can I get it? Where is it? Okay? Otherwise, you haven't got the fruit of your study if you don't ask that question honestly. Because everybody coming here is usually have. Where is this? What is the essence of life, man? What is the essence of life is this devotion, man. What is the essence of the purpose of existence is this devotion, to manifest this devotion in this world. To be an embodiment, to be a temple of devotion, man. Temple of bhakti. Okay. See, if Vaidhi Bhakti is really people studying and associating with persons that are not awakened yet to this truth, if they could understand this, like this is not where the cheese is. It's that's why the devotee, you got to find the moving temples. You have the moving Vrindavans. See, Lord Chaitanya, wherever he was Vrindavan because he was an ecstatic devotee. He carried that sacred place. He was that sacred temple, holy temple. See, the whole name was manifest in him. And his Vaishnavas got this, and they were able to carry this out to others. Because he became unmanifest. So when the Lord is unmanifest, then everything is business as usual, Maya as usual, Vaidhi Bhakti as usual, devoid of bhakti, devotion, just rules, regulations, and see. So who's going to carry this on? Well, if there's some disciples made who have this devotion, then they will carry it on. They say, because they know they're the only ones who know. Yeah. Look at thousands and thousands of devotees, but they don't understand the value of this bhakti. And that's why we preach. That's why we emanate here. Who's gonna hold the candle in this world to what is really true? What is the essence of the four Vedas? No one knows except a small number of people. And knowing is just not blah, 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 devotion and pure and meet the real guru, and you're not powerful enough by cause of this devotion to do anything and awaken people. That's not good enough. That's just talking about it. See, Prabodhananda wrote a great verse about this. He said, I see in this world, I see the symptoms of Mayavad, people preaching and Mayavadis promoting Mayavad, oneness with God only, becoming God and all these speculations. I see that path being taught. I see Vaidhi Bhakti, rules, regulations, and ceremonial worship of God being taught. I see pious deeds being taught. But where is the teachers, the real teachers like Lord Chaitanya, who taught by personal relish, taught when they relish of bhakti, this manifestation of devotion, not just talking about it, but where is the manifestation of it? Where is the revelation coming from that manifestation of bhakti? That's the books, man. That's what a devotee Bhagavat is, the book personified. They give you clear conception of these verses, and they give you a clear sight and vision of the experience of devotion. You can see, oh, there's a whole package there, man. The whole thing is there, the whole ball of wax. This is what you need. See, that's called an experienced devotee, a person experiencing devotion, and the result of it, real transcendental knowledge that busts all the maya of those who listen to them. Liberate them, free them from captivity. They've been anointed by the Spirit of the Lord to free the captives. Who are the captives? Well, practically everybody, man. Even in Vaidhi Bhakti, people are captives. They're captive of inexperienced gurus they don't know what Vrindavan is yet. They can't even prove it. Prove it to us. Why don't you show us Vrindavan? Show us that you're an embodiment of Vrindavan. Show us the tears and the ecstasies. Show us the relish of transcendental mellows, like the authorities in the Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Leela says that they're the liberators. They're the ones that can give us Vrindavan. That wonderful verses, chapter 1 of Adi Leela, verse 98 through 100. Beautiful verses. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, one meets the two types of Bhagavats. One is the great scripture, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the other is the devotee. Yeah, what's their quality? What's their quality? Oh, the devotee absorbed in devotion, the one absorbed in devotional mellows. See, there's their quality. It's that simple. You don't need a big check. What is a real guru? Well, let me show you 6 pages of a checklist. How about one little sentence? The devotee Bhagavat is absorbed in the mellows of devotion. Therefore, they're like the book Bhagavat because they have their understanding and realization of the book because of mellows and devotion. And what are mellows? Those tears you see devotees cry in this little sangha here. Is one out of millions of devotees here. The tears they cry, and they laugh and they choke up when they call out to the Lord. What you read about in the book, something like that. See, this is this is devotee Bhagavat, and you get two together like that. There you go. You get the mellows are transferred in your heart. See, the verses say that. Therefore, everybody studying all those verses is eventually those verses in your studies and your fasting and your pious deeds and your following Vaidhi principles and everything leads to meeting such a devotee where you hear the true Bhagavatam. Otherwise, you're not hearing the Bhagavatam from these gurus. I'm sorry, you're not. Unless they're like that. Unless they're absorbed in mellows, you're not hearing the real Bhagavatam. They don't even touch it. They're not touching it. They don't understand it. You got to be an example. You got to be a devotee Bhagavat. You got to tell people, hey, listen, look at all these rules you're trying to perfect. Don't you see the sages in the Bhagavatam gave that up? They realize I'm not going to spend all my life doing Vaidhi practices amongst Vaidhi bhaktas who are not awakened and then die and take another birth. No, I'm going to listen to Shuta Goswami, who's absorbed in devotional mellows, or Shukadev Goswami, absorbed in devotional mellows, like Maharaj Parikshit. Now you're getting to understand the real Bhagavatam when you hear those words from a real devotee, because now you understand Bhagavatam, because if you're not doing that, and most Vaishnavas are not doing that, then you don't know even the first chapter of Bhagavatam. That's the first chapter. You haven't even began the Bhagavatam until you realize, hey, man, let me find a devotee absorbed in devotional mellows like Sutta Goswami, like the sages found Sutta Goswami. And Shukadev and Maharaj Parikshit found Shukadev Goswami, both absorbed in mellows. Let me hear the Bhagavatam from them. You're not hearing it from these gurus unless they're like that, and I guarantee you 99.9% of them are not like that. I've been to India so many times and could not find one like that. They all talk, but can do nothing. They can't awaken Maharaj Parikshit in 7 days. They can't, awaken those sages that listened for 1,000 years. They wanted to listen to one person who knew the Bhagavatam because of absorption and devotional mellows. Look at this, Christina, man. She's got the mellows already. What did she study? She just has faith in what we're doing. That's what it's all about. That's why this is the teaching, is the witnesses. They're saying, yeah, it works, man. This is the right place. Yeah. Anybody not in devotional mellows is always a lack of faith. You got to look at the witnesses. Keep listening to their classes. Watch them, because look at them. They got the result, man. Krishna trusts them. He's given himself to them. This is eternal. Never reneges on his bargain, man. This is the new covenant for the Vaishnavas. Not the old covenant. Oh, work your ass off and you'll attain Krishna. Chant your 2 lakhs and get a big false ego. No, didn't work. Doesn't work. Never did work. Only brings you to the point of defeat, where you really start to surrender, and then the Lord sends his real representative to the world. And you finally say, here's the white flag. I surrender. Okay. I can't do it myself. I can't do it at sadhana siddha on my own strength or with the strength of those who are not even awakened yet. You got to have defeat. You got to come to the point of defeat. That's called surrender. And then you listen to a person is absorbed in the mellows. What's so difficult? Why is it so hard there, Lilita? Why can't they understand, Christina? Why don't they listen to us? Isn't it? It's. I feel like I want to cry. I'm so sad. Not really. Don't worry, we'll get through, because this is truth here. We have all these books. We have ammunition up the yin yang, man. We are stored. We have ammo, man. I have plenty of ammo here. We're going to defeat this Maya. Maya has no chance. This is why Prabhupada was quiet. They were working. You know how these demons are covertly were working in the background, huh? Well, let me tell you, since 500 years, the Goswamis were working in the background. And then Bhakti Vinod and Vishwanath Chakravarti, they're working in the background. They're preparing, just like the demons are preparing. We've been preparing for this fight, man. See, for a long time, And then Bhakti Vinod, comes and he's preparing. See, and then Bhakti said, "I'm preparing more." They're not just laying out the full ammunition, the full firearm, the firefight yet. And then Prabhupada writing all his books quietly and everything. Oh yeah, here's a bunch of rules. Follow all that stuff. Yeah, fast and build the big temples and all that. And he's writing his books. Yeah. So now See, out of the shadows. We're coming out of the shadow. You see that movie, Out of the Shadows? The demons are coming out of the shadow. Well, hey, man, Bhakti's coming out of the shadows too. Surprise! This is the they have the demons have their Trojan horses, all this AI stuff they got us hooked onto. But Krishna has this. We're part of the Trojan horse, man. Prabhupada was a Trojan horse. Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Vinod, Rupa Goswami, all these they're Trojan horses on Maya, man. And now all the army comes out of that horse. We're in the capital. in the city. See, that's what they did. After the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya, there was a spurt, with Narottam, Shamananda, and Namdharam, Shamananda, and Srinivas. And the Goswamis. So the Goswamis quietly wrote the books, and the preachers went out and preached them, and then boom, so many became pure devotees, just like that. Where'd that go? Well, that's back again, man. See, these realizations, there's none like they're par excellence. Nothing like this. Nothing preached anywhere, and this is how it wins. Ultimately, people will see, hey, man, there's empowerment there. Look at these people waking up with bhakti. Look at the knowledge, transcendental knowledge they're getting. We never heard anything like this, and we know it's right. It's all based on the foundation of these books. Solid, So, I have seen the embodiment of devotion to the Supreme Lord, the essence of the four Vedas. Only the Supreme Lord himself can manifest such intense ecstasy. See? Only this, and that goes for the devotees. See, the devotees know. Yeah, only if the Supreme Lord is inside this temple, man, then there's ecstasy. Otherwise, there's nothing. That's why the problem in the world. The Lord is not awakened inside them. He's dormant, man. That's the whole issue. So, and people think, oh yeah, by my big sadhanas and vidis and fastings, I'm going to awaken that Lord. No, that brings you to the point of ultimately you listen to the real path, man, the confidential path, which is the devotee preaching confidential truth and knowledge to you, preaching this. Do you become faithful? Like, hey, man, when your faith is solid in, oh, wow, all I need is to hear from a devotee like Arjuna heard from Krishna, because Krishna is in that devotee. Because only Krishna in a person can manifest this ecstasy. That's just how it is. That's why I say I'll glorify any of my disciples who have this ecstasy, because I'm just glorifying my Lord also and the devotee. I double my pleasure, man. Hey, if the Lord wants to give himself, who am I to tell? If he likes to put himself in Christina, even though she's a new lady, what am I to, he's my Lord, man. If he wants to do what he wants, he's independent. So I like to, devotees, they like to glorify where the Lord is, and the devotees, it's just so fun, man. It's so wonderful. It's ecstatic, man. This is the only thing that you gotta, it's the only light in the world are the devotees, man, where the Lord is awakened. Otherwise, what's it? You go to all these dormant temples, man. It's like you go where no life is. It's the Walking Dead still. You ever been to a temple like it's empty? There's no spirit in there, and not feel it, because the problem is there's no spirit devotees, filled devotees. They put energy into the temple. The Lord's energy. You ever see the clothing or articles that have been touched by the body of a devotee? They're sacred, right? That's why, because the Lord is really there in them, working. That's what you need to see. Why are you going to temples where there's no way? There's so many gurus out there. There's empty house. The house is not. There's no lord of the house there awake, still sleeping. People think, oh well, let us use the props. Well, no, people don't know what is only the Lord. I'll read that again because it's so right, so conclusive. See, only the Supreme Lord himself can manifest such intense ecstasy. So people think, yeah, only the Lord Chaitanya, when he comes here, can manifest it. Yeah. And then when he gives himself to the devotee, it's that Lord in them. That's why the devotee is as worshipable as Krishna is. Krishna says the devotee is as worshipable as I am because he's in there. And if you can't recognize that, you don't know the qualities of Krishna yet. That's why this Sangha is the test for the world. If you can't recognize Krishna is in many of these devotees awakened, then you failed the test. You don't know the real Krishna. You don't know who you're worshiping. And that's why we're here, to teach people who you're worshiping, so you can come on a more friendly basis with the Lord and his real reps. Not the ones that are playing like doctor, playing guru. See, it's just a play. It's just a big show bottle. They show you, see, that's what's in the bottle. They can't taste it and you can't taste it because they can't taste it. They can't taste that honey. You want that honey, you got to see who is tasting the honey and be close to them, and then you get it. Hey, this is transcendental knowledge. This leads people to the real path. See, directly. That's why you can get it in this life. People are not leading people in this life directly. They know in many lives, because I'm just telling you the indirect way. I'm telling you how to beat around the bush, man. Go around the mountain till she comes, and that she is devotion. And when she comes, you're going straight up the mountain. No more beating around the mountain. All these people are chasing their tails, man. You're going around the mountain until bhakti comes to you in the form of the representatives of it. Bhakti comes with bhakta, real bhakta, substantial bhakta. You come, you see, this person's got substance. They got the whole package. Man, now I'm understanding this book, finally. I can feel it now, because they can feel it. If they can't feel the essence of Bhagavatam, which is this loving devotion, and they're not an embodiment, you haven't found the real girl, and that's just the essence. I'm just here preaching essence, right? And that's why people have a hard time with this preaching. They don't like the truth like I do, like you do. That's why you're here. That's why you get what you get. You want the essence. You've proven you really want Krishna. These others haven't proved they really want Krishna. Really want Krishna means you go where Krishna is given, where he is. And Krishna sees you're sincere and sends you there. And you don't just bounce off like a rubber band, bounce in and go out. Ever see those? They come here, they bounce in and then bounce out. And sometimes they go back and forth, bounce in and bounce out. Luckily, they're on the rubber band, Great verse, isn't it? See, only the Supreme Lord, I'm going to milk this one. Only the Supreme Lord himself can manifest such intense ecstasy, not a little tear. Oh, my guru is also a pure devotee. I saw a little tiny tear, one time. We're at a little hair stand, one hair stand, and he's a pure. Well, he's on his way, I guess. But hey, where's that intense ecstasy? That's where the Lord really is. He's really there, man. He's not just taking a little, just a little just like a little bounce on you, just a little touch, and then goes away. Where's this intense ecstasy? Man, that's where God is. See, only he can manifest that in the devotee. See, this is where it's all leading, is this devotion is awakening and is very attracted to Krishna. See, it's hard, Krishna, the devotion, they're all mixed together. You see, this is the mixture we want. This is the formula. Makes it work. Just like, you have to have this bonding agent, the devotion, and then Krishna comes. See, and then you see where the embodiment of devotion is. See, and that's where you get it. You get it from the association with those devotees, because most people don't have devotion. They don't know what it is. You notice in ISKCON, they don't know what bhakti is. If they did, they'd all be here. There'd be millions of devotees here if they knew the value of devotion. That's why we have to spend all this difficult time teaching. It's so hard, isn't it? Every day we come here, spend 4 hours a day teaching real bhakti because nobody knows. I mean, I'm always sweating, trying to. Actually, it's all play, it's all play when you get to this point. It's fun, yeah, it's fun, and because the truth is wonderful, people need to hear it. They just need to hear it, because if they just read it, they don't understand it, or they hear it from people gurus and authorities that don't understand it. So it's what they call the blind leading the blind. Blind guides. Why do you think Jesus said that? You don't think that's relevant now? Blind guide means your eyes are not open. Your heart's not open. Your understanding's not open. If you come to the devotees whose eyes and understanding and heart is open with this spontaneous love of God, you're going to get it very quickly. If that's what you want. I see a lot of people, stragglers in our Sangha even, why they're not sure they even want this. See? So, hey, man, you just stick around till finally it wears away, that stupidity and that ignorance of not wanting this amazing bhakti. Just stick around until you can get it, that this is the most valuable stuff around. This is the pearl of great price, even better. Yeah, because there isn't anything better than this. This is the most wonderful thing. This is the end of your journey in samsara. No more, coming into the demigods and the demons arena, where sometimes you're jerked around by demigods, speculations, and sometimes jerked around by the demons. Happiness and distress, happiness and distress. That's life in this world. Happiness and distress. Now there's a big distressful time because the demons are in charge more. So you want to get out of that cycle? Well, this is your opportunity here. See, no more. No, you just have the happiness of bhakti, which is steady bliss and ecstasy. Yeah, that's what it's about. Yeah, and all that modi shit going on, is out of you. You're not vibrating there anymore. You notice that? You don't vibrate with that. Yeah, I mean, all of Facebook now, you go there and you got the demigods fighting the demons, and the people that know that's a bunch of the demons are in charge. A lot of people don't know, and they're fighting over the slaves. Basically, both parties are fighting over. They know whoever controls the slaves, you make the demigods make you slave, and the demons also. They're all fighting over the slaves, the unawakened. See, and that's what it is, basically. And to convince them, because then you have the bigger army. See, the bigger army is the ones that are not awakened. People fighting over that. So that they can conquer the other side. So that's the Maya's pastimes. Okay? So those persons, whether they're the slaves, whether the demons or the demigods who know what going on a little bit to some degree, if they all come here, they can become free of all of that. That this is an illusion. It's the Lord's illusion. That's why the Lord he's not, it's like he's not interested. He's just like, oh, that's just the illusion, man. Come out of it, everybody. You want to? We're just here. We're callers, town criers. Hey, man, come out of the illusion. Come into this association. Come and be liberated once and for all, forever in this life. You'll feel it in this life. The way of transcendental experience will open up to you. You'll feel God. You'll feel the Lord. You'll cry. You'll laugh. These things that these liberators came, Lord Chaitanya, you will be part of your experience. You'll relate to this. You'll have relation to these devotees in these moods, eternal moods. It was a very special time. It was from when Lord Chaitanya came, a very special time. They brought the spiritual world here. They brought really even more clear what Jesus prayed, the prayer. Jesus said, "Thy will be done on earth as it is in spirit." Beyond heaven, man. Beyond the demigod realm. In the spiritual world. Thy will be done in this, on this earth as it is in the spiritual world. And that's this worship, man. That's the Lord's will there. This is the Lord's desire there. That will is to have this preached here and liberate these poor fools. Oh, I'm sorry I called you fools. Forgive me. I know you're very intelligent persons out there, very intelligent gurus and PhDs, and so very smart. And you're lining people up to take the shot. I think this is very good. Yes, you really know the real path. Sorry for the offense. You got to be careful because their false egos are very fragile. They might break at any time. But anyone, even a sense of real truth, man, can just break that false ID. Oh, that's what this is. Okay. All right. The fortunate souls who were able to see his loving devotion will never be rejected by Lord Krishna. There you go. This was right from the mouth of Lord Chaitanya. Okay? When I read verses like this in these books, that's when I thought, okay, I got the order, man. After I got the order, and then I read these things. Well, I read them before, and I thought, I didn't. But then when I got the order Prabhupada, I thought, wow, why not? Let's just, this is the way I would worship. I never showed it. Prabhupada said it has approval. So let's really, really get into this. Let's just chant, and whatever awakens spontaneously, let's let it out. Let it hang out, man. I like this idea. I thought this is the greatest idea in the world. Why not liberate everybody? Because I believed in that verse. And people fault me to this day. How dare you show this bhakti to the world? How dare you? How dare I? Well, I'm like that. I'm like that disciple of one guru in our line, I think, even said, I'm going to give you a mantra that's going to liberate you. And he chanted that mantra, and it liberated him, just like I did. I, chanted these mantras, and they liberated me. Very early on, first day, actually. Oh, wow, this is great. So anyway, the guru said, but don't tell anybody. And the disciple said, what is this? I'm liberated, and all these poor fools out there can't be liberated. All they have to do is hear the mantra from a bona fide recipient that actually, experiences the liberation of this mantra, and they will be liberated. And to show that, and so he went out and did it. And his guru was actually happy with him. Actually, he said, "Oh, well, this is very good." So it's the same thing here. That's why Prabhupada said this has his approval when I'm doing this kind of thing. Why not? Why wouldn't it? I was ecstatic for years. Why not share it with the world? The Lord Chaitanya did. What's the fault in this? What's the fault in Lalita Ganga and Christina crying right in front of your faces? The Lord will never reject you after that. What? That's not good for you? See, what are you, like little babies? And that's what you are. You're like little babies. And we got to say, eat your little spinach. Come on, spoon, eat the spinach. No, just take it because the Lord will not reject you. Goo goo gaga. We don't want the Lord to reject you, so we show you. The Lord is manifesting inside us publicly, to show people the real path and how to get him in this life. Ooh. So all you persons, see, I have ammunition here. You could say, go hard. You should not. Don't you see Rupa Goswami? They always do that. Rupa Goswami never showed. Oh, yeah? Okay. Well, you know what? Look at this. The fortunate souls who were able to see his loving devotion will never be rejected by Lord Krishna. I think this is a better truth. I think this is a better thing because Lord Chaitanya said himself this. Whoever sees the loving devotion of a devotee where the Lord is actually manifested, the Lord will never reject you. Now, isn't that a great deal? Now, don't you dare come over here again and say, go hard. Don't. Rupa Goswami didn't show his devotion, therefore you shouldn't either. No, I go with this verse. This is more mercy in this verse. Yes or no? What kind of mercy is being a miser? Rupa Goswami according to time, place, and circumstance. And who the heck knows if he really did this? How do you know it's not one of these bullshitters out here that can't manifest devotion, don't have the power of God in them to manifest bhakti? I'm glad nobody's here today. To manifest bhakti. How do you know it's not one of those guys? There's so many out there now. They can't manifest it even in their dreams, but they want to bullshit you that they have it. How do you know it's not one of those guys that said, put those words in Rupa Goswami's mouth? Or I never heard him say that. I'd rather hear this verse. This looks like more mercy. This looks like the style of my Lord. There's been no other more jubilant. No more other jubilant incarnation than Lord Chaitanya, more merciful. This fits my Lord better. I'm into that frequency. See? Why not? Why not? Look at this. Because I'm doing this, look at you guys, ecstatic as can be, liberated. Must be the better thing to do, wouldn't you say? If you can liberate one person, so many people are getting liberated here. Must be the right thing, huh? Must be a better thing. One more in tune with God's real mind and not miserly people, miserly minds. My Lord is liberal. His real associates are very liberal also. Hey, these are the qualities. Munificence. Did you know what is munificence, man? Hey, man, munificently giving what's really valuable to the world to overturn the tables on Maya. How can we, unless we have a radical revolution of bhakti in this world, how can we overturn Maya's tables? It'd be radical. Revolutionary. My Jesus Christ is revolutionary. My Lord Chaitanya was a revolutionist. Did things that nobody's ever done before. That's the way they are. That's the way we are. We're attuned to his energy, his vibrations. Very intense. Wants people to get this bhakti now. Not later. Not 5,000 lifetimes. Now. Very intense desire. So I love these verses, man. The fortunate soul. See, you want to be fortunate? Here you go. Come take a look at this Sangha, man. Look at these devotees like Christina and Lalita Ganga crying their eyes out when they chant Hare Krishna. There you go. That's the beginning of your good fortune. All your 40, 50 years of doing Vaidhi Bhakti practices is gets its fruit when you see the devotees chanting and exing. Now your real good fortune is here manifesting just by seeing the bhakti of the devotees in this Sangha. See, it says right there, good fortune, right? Well, there's your good fortune. What is the good fortune in going your whole devotional career and never seeing the devotion you see in this Sangha? Because that's maybe some fortune, but not the fortune you get by coming to see devotees who have ecstatic devotion awakened, spontaneous love of God. These verses are showing you, pointing in where the direction. Where does anybody really want the gold? Are you looking for treasure? Hey, we just keep pointing. Treasures over here, treasures over here, treasures over here. Can't you see the book is leading you here? The book is leading you here. Book Bhagavat, devotee Bhagavats. Book Bhagavat, devotee Bhagavats. Can you get it now? I've been listening to these gurus too long. They never speak about these things. Well, maybe there's somebody that the Lord gives some smarts out there to understand what the heck we're talking about here and what's really valuable. Rules are not as valuable as this devotion manifesting, and you can get it where it is. Go drink from the well of devotion. See, that's what we're doing. So I understand that this is Lord Chaitanya talking. See, he's teaching. He's teaching transcendental knowledge, and the Lord came not to beat around the bush and teach a bunch of rules and regulations. He was trying to give the essence. The essence. That's what we do here. We're following in his footsteps. He came to accept the path of ecstatic love from an ecstatic guru. That's what you've done here. You accept the path of ecstatic love from an ecstatic guru. Therefore, you get what Lord Chaitanya came to give. He's pleased with you. Oh, you came and did what I did 500 years ago. You did that in 2020 or 2018 when you guys came, or 2017, something like that. See? Now you're tuning to the frequency of the Lord's will that started 500 years ago. You're doing what he did. He came to, see, this is a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 4. The Lord came to accept the path of ecstatic love. And you've done that. It's that simple. See, that is the essence. That's why you make more progress than gurus and sannyasis and Brahmins who studied the Vedas and are doing austerities and everything. You just came to acceptance. That's the essence of the Vedas. The essence of the truth of the Vedas is spoken by the real guru of how to get this fast. You know how many devotees have been following this process of bhakti yoga in the rules and regulations in ISKCON and Gaudiya Math and Gaudiya Samiti for 10, 20, 30, 40 years and don't understand what I just said? Because they have to hear it from an empowered authority. Otherwise, they still don't get it because their gurus aren't teaching this, or they don't have the power to manifest this in anybody. You got to be, impaired. The Lord has to really be in you intensely. See the intensity there. It's got to be in you. And then something's going to happen like this. Hey, this is the good news for the Vaishnavas, man. Whoever believes it. If not, you'll believe those where it takes many, many lifetimes. There you go. Is that smart? Yeah, I'm so smart. I'm going to believe my guru so great, so fantastic. He gave me a great boon. In many lifetimes, I'm going to get prema. Oh, and there's prema's here, and you think that's better? God, I think you better move on. Find out. Yeah, the gold is here. The gold is being distributed, man, and you don't want it because that's ignorance, man. Isn't that ignorant to think that you think, well, no, I'm more into this big guru thing. Why? Big guru, so great, oh, fantastic. He gave the boon. Many lifetimes are going to get prema. Oh, here, you get it in this life. Can't you see the examples? Oh, you don't think this is prema bhakti? You see right before your face here, and the devotees here, they got prema bhakti. No, I don't care. Oh, okay, fine. That's called false ego. See, stupidity, ignorance. There are many like this, and a lot of them are gurus, and people follow that. The blind leading the blind. See, they're not ready for the truth. See, they rather just wander and stumble in darkness. That's why Jesus said, see, he knew the truth. He was an example of truth, the embodiment of devotion. He said, while I'm in this world, I'm the light of the world. Every real devotee says that or knows that. Because they look around and see everybody stumbling in darkness because they don't listen. They don't hear the truth. They're not ready to accept the truth. They just want to accept blindness and ignorance and darkness as truth. That's really the essence. Yeah. But anyway, didn't stop Jesus from preaching and experience, right? Didn't stop Lord Chaitanya from preaching because they knew better. It doesn't stop me from preaching either. Why? I know better. Why? And that's my responsibility. Why should I hide this understanding the Lord gives me because of this ecstatic worship or you? Why should we hide the truth? This is our, isn't this like how it works? You know, you get the Lord is giving you a gift and you share that gift with others. Isn't that working for people's welfare? Yeah. That's what I always found. The more I give this to others and share what the Lord is giving me, the more that is filled. See, give and it shall be given unto you. See, so people, the materialist religionists, they say, oh yeah, you see, give money, and then you'll be given more money. See, they're thinking give to God so you get money, or give to these representatives or so-called representatives, and then you get more money back. See, it's a money deal. No, how about, I like this better. This is more clean. This is green, more green. And you get more green too. And not that, just that green, paper stuff they print like from the worthless shit. They print like nothing, just, oh, we can print that. We just keep printing this, gets more and more worthless as they print it. See, they print it and they give it out and it becomes more worthless. That's the Maya. See, the Lord imprints us every day and becomes more valuable everything we give out. See, this is a money machine. Real wealth is coming here, man. Real understanding. See, we're printing. No, imprinted, empowered, imprints. Goloka news every day. Goloka news every day. See, and more valuable, more ecstasy, more clarity, more ignorance gone. See, more light to the world. See, this is real value. That's why ultimately Krishna always wins, because it's real. It's real money. Real. This other is all fake, all of it. Fake currency. There's no current. This is the real currency. Current, energy, life, bhakti, devotion, transcendental knowledge. You want currency? Come here and we'll plug you into the currency. You'll be going, ah. And people wonder why I roar all the time. every so-called ones are calling themselves as Prabhupada. Yeah, I mean, like Prabhupada said, there's no problem being called Prabhupada or His Divine Grace and everything, but is that divine grace in you, man? That's the thing. See, a lot of his God brothers couldn't recognize that Prabhupada. The Prabhupada is, if God is using you, man, then then you're like that. But if He's not, if the transcendental potency is not in you, then it's a fraud. You're a fraud. You're an imposter. And so a lot of the God brothers came up to Prabhupada and said, "How dare you use Prabhupada's name? This is only for Bhakti Siddhanta." See, that's inconclusive. And they had big titles, acharyas. What kind of acharya you guys? I'm sorry, I'll tell you to your face if you were here. Come out of your grave and I'll tell you, man. You kind of acharya are you? You're a fraud. You think I'm offensive for you teaching lies? No. I'm here to teach truth. Bhakti Siddhanta was like this. He said, hey, no frauds, man. I'm not into frauds. Okay? Fraudulent, not real. Prabhupada understood conclusively. His disciples said, hey, I want to call you, we want to call you Prabhupada. He said, yeah, okay, that's all right. And because it's conclusive. Yeah, I mean, it's good, beneficial, not only for the disciples, because they feel great happiness when they exalt their guru, if the guru is really transcendental. And it's beneficial for the world because if the world begins to believe in a realized soul and hears from them, comes to the point of hearing from them, is for their benefit. Okay. But if you're not like that, then you're a fraud. You're not. You're like a Putana still. You're acting. It's like, see, Putana's quality is she came and imitated the real devotees of Vrindavan. See, she just looked externally. She just put the makeup on, and look really cute, but her heart was impure. Was not purified. She wanted to kill Krishna. And that's what we have. That's called religion. Most of the leaders are still, even though they may be nice and somewhat, they're in the mode of goodness, but they still might have a bit of Putana in them. Because as soon as a real devotee comes from Vrindavan with the real ecstasy, their whole humble mood changes. I've seen it, man. I've seen the most humble so-called persons in leaders. Soon as they saw a little devotion that was manifesting through this fool here, their whole attitude of humility changed. And it brought out everything, brought out this knife, backstabbing stuff. And everybody's praising these frauds. This is the world. They believe in frauds. Everything's fraudulent. It's lies, cheating, everything. Especially even when the demigods here, they're not perfect either. They got all these fraudulent things. Unless they're the pure devotees, they're demigods that are pure devotees. There are demons that are pure devotees. Did you know that? The bottom line is, do you love Krishna? I don't care what your body is. I don't care your skin color. All this black, all this stuff is fraudulent. Hey, man, you black, you love Krishna? Okay, you're out. You're good. Are you black? You don't love Krishna? You don't love God? You're refuse still. You're unawakened. You're dead body walking around. It's that simple. Oh, you're Chinese? Do you love God? Oh, wonderful. Come, yeah. Oh, you're not awake. Otherwise, you're just, whether you're black, you're white, you're Chinese, you're this, is all fraudulent. We're all spirit souls, man. That is the truth. Are you awakened or not? You want to be awakened? If not, shake the dust from your feet and we move on to somebody who wants to be awakened, right? Isn't that what Jesus taught? There's zillions of souls in this world, in this universe. Zillions. Who's ready to be delivered? Who hears this message? No time to beat around the bush, man. All these etiquettes and all this stuff. No time for that now. Just straight out truth, straight up. No dilution in there, no sugar, water, and make it all sweet and all that. And it's polluted, it's contaminated, it's alloy. I don't like alloy. You guys like? I don't like alloys. I don't like mixing business with devotions. Mixing and mixing. Yuck. Straight up. Straight shot of bhakti, man. Pure. I don't even, not like 99.9. No, just straight 100%. That's what the Lord wants to give in our hearts. 100% pure. Only He can do it, though. See? I can't glorify who am I, man? I just pray. I just thank. I kiss the ground every day. Lord, oh my God, you came again. Thank you, Lord, man. I just come with my begging bowl here every day, you know. Hey, Lord. And whatever He puts in there, it's never enough for me. You ever seen those beggars? It's got to be like that with bhakti. You got to go and you're looking at more. You got to be, they're like that with money, with the stuff. You put in money. You ever seen these beggars? Never enough. Put some more in there, man. A cup of coffee is $3 now, not that, what 20 cents? You got to be like that with Krishna. He puts in a little something. Hey, man, put some more in there, man. Right? Greed, spiritual. Yeah. Hey, man, you're just never satisfied. Never. The bowl gets bigger, you know, it grows. Put some in there and it expands. It gets deeper, you know. Hey, man, you got to fill more in there. Come on, man. Hey, Lance, you got up late today. He's already 3 hours ahead of me, too. Or 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours. So I love these verses are getting really good. I just love, don't you just love when Lord Chaitanya talks? You know, when he expresses realization, so amazing, so deep, so perfect. You know, one sentence of Lord Chaitanya, well, you can sit on that all day. You know, talk about that all day, relish all day. It's so profound because nobody knows the truth like he knows. His realization, revelations are topmost because look at the kind of ecstasy that he had. See, that he knew he's like Radharani. Even Krishna says, boy, she knows more about me than I know about myself because of her devotion, her ecstatic devotion. So therefore, I want to come in her mode to understand what she's understanding, to relish the happiness that she is relishing because of the strength of her love. See, if you're not like that when you come here, you're not qualified for Raganuga Bhakti. That's the only qualification. You see this amazing way of worshiping Krishna and you think, I also like to worship like this. That's Raganuga Bhakti. That's your qualification. Nothing else. All these rule followers out there, man, they're following very strictly. They're doing all this, but they don't have that quality. Therefore, they can't come here. They're still trying to attain Krishna by all their offensive chanting. They're not in ecstasy. They think, no, I'm going to do this many life path thing because my Guru Dev told me that, and I'm going to stick to that path. See, but you guys come and you get it very quick because you listen here. You listen because I love Lord Chaitanya's realizations and I treasure them. And I want to preach that treasure to the world because then my treasure increases. Because the world needs to hear this. That's why he came. Why wouldn't he give some benefit to somebody preaching what he preached? Why wouldn't he help people? Because this word that he preached is what's going to help the world. It's going to turn Vaidhi Bhaktas into ecstatic devotees on the path of spontaneous love like he came to preach. And it's been ordered by Prabhupada to preach this as his full approval. Whether you big sannyasis and gurus that were initiated by him want to go against that order, too bad. We're going to win because it's the truth and the order of the person that you don't know very well that gave this fool Gaur Hari Das that order to preach what Lord Chaitanya preached and liberate so many persons. Look, already we got an army. That's must about 30 ecstatic devotees. That's like 300,000 persons is still in Maya. 300 million maybe in Maya. He needs 30. So I understand that you, Lord Nityananda, are a full-fledged manifestation of Lord Krishna's energy. Oh, isn't that a great verse? Full-fledged manifestation. See, you need to see. You ever see that thing, a ghost manifest? Ooh, a ghost just manifested. You could see it. See? Okay? Where's the devotion manifesting? Full-fledged devotion manifesting. We don't know where to be seen, is it? And the people do the sleight of hand trick. Oh, well, we're filled with it, but we don't show it. Okay? But where are these full-fledged manifestations of devotion? Well, I think I see it in these two gals right before my head. These are two full-fledged manifestations of bhakti. I mean, as good as a little thimble can do, but still filled with bhakti. Hey, this is what people are being. Isn't this the Lord teaching? Isn't he saying this is glorious, man? Your life is glorious if you see this devotion. Oh, much less think, wow, this is, because the Lord's saying this is the pot of gold. This is the pot of gold. This is reality. This is reality. Go there, go there. And we just say the same thing. This is reality. You notice first the Father does, then the Son does, but the Son does exactly what the Father does. The Son shows what the Father shows. See, there you go. There you got deliverance. There you go. You got nectar. There you got reality, eternal reality. There you go of Savior. You're going to be saved now. You're saved by the word, but it's got to be the word of God. You got to hear the word of God. See, this is God's word, right? Yes, it is. You got to hear it from the mouth. That means God's word is coming through the medium. And when you hear that word, you start to wake up. Ignorance starts to get busted by their word. Ignorance is destroyed. And from them, ecstatic emanates. And you disciples of Prabhupada ready to wake up? Are you that manifestation as a leader? Are you that Are you following such a leader? Yeah, because that's Guru Dev, man. Right in the songbook you sing every day, twice. Samsara Dara, and then Sri Guru every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Do you understand that song? Probably not until you hear it here. Till you hear those qualities and see those qualities. Okay? Now your spiritual life, now your life will become glorious. See, full-fledged manifestation of Lord Krishna's energy. See, Radha is the energy. Devotion is the energy, right? Full-fledged. Where is that? Where in what temple is that fledged energy of devotion? And what is that devotion? It's what that devotion is, who is this? Oh, yeah, great. Thank you for coming. See, that devotion is the energy of Krishna. See, we need that. You notice Radha's name comes before Krishna. That means devotion comes before Krishna. See, Krishna is attracted to Radha and devotion. You have to mute your mic there, Shamaguri. It's You got to mute your mic. There you go. Thank you. Or did you do it? Okay. I can't mute your mic for some reason. But anyways, it's better now. So whatever happened, you did. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So this is very important. You want to find the real path. You have to find the manifestation of devotion, because with the awakening of devotion, now you've attained Krishna automatically. Automatically, Krishna's name is attractive. That's what it's all about, to realize the all attractive one, but you need the devotion to awaken. It comes in the disciplic line, the real line, not the false followers. They hide the path. The real followers are the manifestations of this devotion in this world. They have the symptoms. They cry, they laugh, they relish mellows. That is the truth. That is always the truth. That is deliverance. That is the real place. That is the real Vrindavan. The place and the devotee is the same. If you the definition of dham means place or the person. They're both the same. That's why the Lord comes here. The place gets covered over with brambles. People start preaching the wrong thing. They're not. So the devotee has to come. The person, devotion, the manifestation, the moving temples. That's why people couldn't understand Lord Jagannath deeply. Can you imagine? They're still on the bodily platform even to this day. They're still throwing out people based on their body. This is this racism, all this bullshit going on, bodily identification. Even look at them. They still don't know Lord Jagannath's real mind. You think he wants to hinder people from getting him? Vaishnava is still preaching like this. Can you imagine? Oh no, don't show devotion. No, hide it from the world. They think that is good, that is right. That's called religion. You got to, I abandon. I don't want that. That doesn't add anything to me. It doesn't add anything to the mission of Lord Chaitanya. Religion now. Religion's got to diminish now. And now truth has to arise. The truth of ecstatic worship. The truth of conclusive glorification of ecstatic worship and ecstatic devotees. God arise. Become, more prominent. And religion has to diminish. Rules, regulations, and ceremonies. That's not strong enough. Now the mercy of the Lord Chaitanya is in force. See? This is the force now. This has to become prominent. The other people, look at them. The gurus are lining up for shots. That shows you it's not strong enough. They're up their disciples, encouraging them to do what is not really beneficial for them. In other words, they're succumbing to the illusion. On the physical level, much less the spiritual levels, which we're discussing, which is more important. Because you come here, you'll see all the bullshit. You'll see the bullshitters. You see those who Putana still has in check. The Trinavarta speculation demon still has in check, keeping them from the real Vrindavan. See, these demons don't have the devotees in this Sangha in check. Okay? Unless you're still not really faithful yet, and you're working on that. I remember all it took for me when I read the Bible. I read the Bible just a few pages, and I said, this man knows God. I really felt it in my heart, and bam, bhakti. That's how it is for everybody, and you all know it, that got it. As soon as your heart really gets it, that's called sincerity. And the Lord says, make up the difference. All this crapola that comes out of your heart, you got to hear and hear. Some people fast, it happens. Some people after 20 years, they're still working on it. It doesn't matter. Well, you got to get it out till you become faith.
And you say, yeah, this is my tribe. This is my family, man. My God, am I fortunate to be here. I found the real path. Oh, many lifetimes I've been looking for this. I see those who are straggling still, they're still working on their faith. Because when that is solid, man, you got it, and Krishna will, boom, he'll take you off probation and really give himself intensely ecstatic worship. See? It's a faith deal, man. But that's why you got to hear, and get all this crapola out, all this weakness of heart and faith in mundane people leading you. So I see the people they're still working on that. All these, well, I don't know. I listen to this person and to this other person. Yeah, do they believe in God? Well, I don't know. I just listen. I'm like, I go into McDonald's and I just listen to anything, eat anything. It's food, isn't it? Well, not necessarily. But a lot of people are kept weak by that. They listen to this and that, and they hear, it's all the same to them, or but then again, not everybody get this. Some people, they need that, and that's, you got to trust yourself too, in one sense. You got to follow your path. Whatever it is, you got to honor it, But I'm just saying, when you come to the point and realize it's all about that, just realize, I finally get it. Yeah, I really, I tried enough of this and I tried enough of that, and then all these things, and I'm really satisfied with bhakti, really satisfied with worshiping God. That's my path. I just want to hear about Krishna. I want to associate with real devotees who have real devotion, man. I just like to be around the faithful, like this. When you get that, it's like, that's the way God is. He ain't thinking about any other paths. You think he said, all paths lie upon Krishna like pearls upon a string, but he's not really interested in anything else but bhakti, right? Isn't that why he comes here? Why didn't he show he had an interest in anything else? He said, no, ultimately, when he realized, he came, when he came to show, he played the part. He says, Gadadhar, you've always been a devotee from birth. You are so fortunate. Look at me. I was interested in mundane astrology and grammar, all these mundane subjects. I wasted my time with that. And now you've been all your life, and you're very fortunate. And that's when the Lord showed, bhakti is the best. Okay. So when we come to that conclusion, then you're going to really find what real happiness is. And then you'll be at peace, and not be looking around like a prostitute. See, that's what it kind of, I don't know, is there some other path? Hey, man, this is the essence. Right there, Lolita? Isn't that simple? You want any other path nowadays? Is it, no, no. No. Yeah. So Nari says, all religion and gurus are politicized. We know it well. Really devotion, love. Yeah, I mean, we're here for all of them. I'm here for the gurus, actually. Okay, I chastise. But that's also another thing. People say you shouldn't be offensive. Again, I shouldn't show bhakti, and I shouldn't chastise gurus or Brahmins or anything, or sannyasis. See, I should just go walk around life like this. But people fault me for, they don't understand my mind, and I just have to keep trying to explain the Lord's mind. Everybody he chastised became a pure devotee. So I'm thinking, let me chastise Raghunath and Jaipataka and all these guys so they can become pure devotees. And they all think, nobody understands the Lord, he chastised Devananda Panda, the perfect Brahmin, was teaching Krishna better than any of these gurus, and was more humble than even Radhanath, but the Lord chastised him, became a pure devotee. So I thought, why not I chastise Radhanath and Jaipataka and Acharya Dev with the big PhD so they can become pure devotees? I don't know. I think this is compassion to me, isn't it? Because the Lord is in me, and he chastised before these great persons. Everybody thought they were pure devotees too, and he chastised them because they really weren't quite up to standard. And the Lord is in me and showing me all these things. And I think, I think this is compassion. Let's make them real pure devotees. Let them make them bona fide and liberate all their followers too. Then they can follow a real guru like them. I think this is, why do people misunderstand me? Why do they say I'm not compassionate? I'm offensive. I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to follow in the footsteps of my Lord. He chastised gurus and all these persons. And the ones he didn't chastise didn't become pure devotees. So I think I would rather them become pure devotees. Am I thinking straight? Or you not thinking straight until you hear? That's why you can't, unless you have a lot of ecstatic worship, you can't understand the mind of devotees. You think they're actually selfish like you. Self-centered like you, miserly like you. That's why you tell them, don't show devotion. Don't chastise these pure devotees who aren't pure devotees yet. They're not purified devotees until pure love of God awakens and we see that manifestation in them. Then we got something substantial. We got real liberators, not just shows, not just big acts. Big show bottle prancing around the stage with their sticks and talking all philosophy and juggling Prabhupada's words and never coming to these conclusions. They're very deep, very profound. They have the power to liberate. Anybody who believes this preaching will be saved. I'm telling you the truth. Because you're saved from that other stuff. See, that's really being saved. You're saved from believing in the shuck and jive, man. The blind leaders. Without devotion, you're blind, man. Without seeing what you see in devotees like Christina and Lalita Ganga right in front of your face, without seeing that, that's blindness. If any guru doesn't have what you see in those two devotees, they're blind, more or less blind. This opens your eyes, what you see here. I'm just commenting. Isn't it amazing? You got a teacher here that has not only personal experience in their own temple, but I learned from your experiences, and that's why I comment on it. People can say, it's not this crazy guy here, but it's you guys also that have the manifestation of the mercy of the Lord. I think that's amazing. Where do you find such teachers and teachings and examples and witnesses? Where? You show me one place on the face of this earth in the Vaishnava sector where you see all that's going on here somewhere else. Show me. Nobody still shows. They say, it's got to be, my guru. They say, but they never can show where real bhakti is. Where you read the verses and you say, wow, that's really here too. Look at this. I don't know. This is just the way. I'm just sharing my mind. That comes from all this crazy, intoxicated worship. The Lord implants these thoughts in my mind, and I share them with you. I have the feeling that because people are listening, they seem to get liberated from believing in these words. Lord Chaitanya said, Sanatana Goswami came and said, could you tell me the Atmaram verse, this very deep verse that nobody understands? And you preached it to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and amazed him. Can I hear that verse again? And Lord Chaitanya said, well, I'm one madman and he's another. Therefore, he took my words as truth. See, you got to have faith in the words of a madman, transcendental madman, and then you take the words as truth, boom, then you become on the same platform. That's the secret of bhakti, man. You won't find any gurus teaching that out there. They don't know these things. Jesus taught it. That's why I love him. That's why I follow him. That's why I quote his words. Oh, Lord. See, this is from his prayer. Oh, Lord. They believed my words came from you. Let them therefore be as we are together. That's Gurudev. That's why you're like that. You believe these words come from my Lord, which they do. They come from all this ecstatic worship, like Bhagavad Gita 10:10. You believe these words, therefore you are as I am. Also, a madman, mad women. But it's a nice place to be. You can still drive a car. I've seen Christina driving a car. As mad as she is, she drives a car. I've seen Lolita sitting on a motorcycle. I don't know if she's driving it yet, but she's sitting on it on the back. She doesn't fall off, hopefully. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, isn't this fun? I mean, see here, talk about truth, man. Just destroy the illusion, man. Just rip it apart. It's like mad dogs for Krishna. We're mad, man. We should call ourselves mad dogs for Krishna. Just ripping up the illusion. Rip it up, man. Just don't leave anything. Shred it. We're the shredders. You ever seen those things? You shred. They shred all these things. You know, we're shredding all the illusion, man. Just put it in the shredder. Where's the thing here? There we go. So, look at this. Oh my good. The living entities can obtain. Okay, you are non-different from. Oh, this is so good. This very okay, man. So I Okay, the fortunate souls who are able to see his loving devotion will never be rejected by Lord Krishna. This whole verse is fabulous, my friends. So, again, those who see this loving devotion will never be rejected by Lord Krishna. See, the manifestation. That's where good fortune is just seeing it, you know? That's why I started doing it. I thought, why not put it public? Let people see it. Let's liberate everybody. To me, that sounded reasonable. It sounded like real mercy. Didn't it? You know, why isn't all the gurus now, if you really got to, why don't you, whoever sees this gets liberated, especially starting with your disciples? This makes sense to me. Doesn't it make sense to you? There was a pastime on YouTube. You could see one of these early disciples of Prabhupada in the memories. He was very stoic, and his friend was very stoic usually, because, Prabhupada's usually hiding his ecstasy, right? So they walk in, and Prabhupada's chanting Hare Krishna and crying, in ecstasy. And they started crying in ecstasy. There you go. Now you're getting really purified for the first time. Because inside, God is awakening you because you're seeing a devotee, the manifestation. Oh, how fortunate you are. See that verse? So that's it. But you know what happens? That nobody's clear about that. He goes out of the room and it's just an experience. He doesn't understand the import of that. See, Krishna awakened his heart because he saw the manifestation of devotion in Prabhupada. See, it wasn't time to preach like we're preaching now. So now we do. See? Now we take that pastime, say, hey, don't be like that devotee. You just go in and see, or you come here, you see a devotee crying in ecstasy, or you see some of my disciples crying in ecstasy, and then you go away and you don't come back. No, keep coming. Keep becoming inspired and purified and ecstatic by coming. And it'll really strongly take hold of you, the spirit of devotion. This is the fast track, man. You want to fast get into Goloka? This is how you do it. See, you got to see the devotee speaking in accordance of these confidential verses and glorifying them because they're glorious. They'll make you glorious if you hear these words. May you be an ecstatic madman as we are. Mad women, too. Mad Chinese, mad black man. Who cares what body you got? Mad dog, even. Who cares what kind of body you got? This is the illusion. Your spirit soul. Let's wake up your soul. Wake up, sleeping souls. This verse is fantastic, man. This is from the mouth of my Lord. This is why I surrender to this Lord, man. I love when he says, I haven't found another human being on this planet that ever said anything so good. Therefore, I surrender to the best word I can hear, because that word is my God. Is it your God? It's my God. That word is so good, so powerful. Oh, it makes me get live again. See? 1, Book of John. In the beginning was the Word. The Word, I quote that a lot. I love that verse. Can you tell? In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. See, that's the devotee, man. That Word of God is with them and only them. New revelation, by the way. This came. Hey, that's the Word of God. It's with the Lord's. They're the Word. They're like two peas in a pod. That devotee and the Lord, they're really together. You even get confused because you hear that word, you think it's from the devotee, but it's coming from the Lord, because that word is with God, and it was God, and it is God, and always will be God, and it's your saving grace. Because the words you hear from Fauci and Bill Gates are not like that. They're going to line you up and do what they do, depopulate. Even the devotees are going that path. Isn't that amazing? Part of the first depopulation program. See, that's how it is, man. These words, these are the words of God. They come from God. And their choice, they're wonderful. They give us life. See, the words of the Maya, the Lord's Maya, the shadow, give us death. You see how that works? That's death out there. They're the death nails, the death words. They're lies, they're cheating, they're deceptions. Even demigods and demons, their words are not exactly true. They may be more true as a demigod and less true as a demon, but they're still lies, all of it. Look at Jarasandha as an example. Jarasandha was a Vaidhi Bhakta, just like you see, better than anybody here. He was righteous king, righteous. He was pious. He gave charity to Brahmins. He never told a lie. Well, that's not exactly true. That's why St. Paul said, I was a perfect Pharisee, and these things that I did are like filthy rags before my Lord. That's the Lord I worship. He is really pure. I ain't going to try to compete with him and become pure like him. There's no way. See? So the Jarasandha, there was one lie he told. You know what that lie was? Krishna is a degraded person. That's a lie, isn't it? There's one unhumble thing that Radhanath, let's make this really personal. Let us make it really clear. There's one lie. See, I have all these experiences too, similar. See? One lie Radhanath said, maybe others, but there's one significant, because he's so humble, such a pure devotee. Yeah. But one lie, he's not good enough. One lie he said, he told one of my disciples, go away from Gaurahari. He's not in the real disciplic succession. Ah! It's a lie! You. See, all your humbleness goes down the drain before my Lord, because that's a lie. We're here to liberate. Look at Lalita Ganga, my God. She's liberated because she listened, and you misled somebody. See? Anyway, my Lord, please forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Just how it is.
You're frozen, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Where is everybody now? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it just it's early morning and the internet. I had to go to the truck. Back in the truck. All right, let me complete the verse here. I got to get the computer. I'll be right back.
I have to chant now again, or what? Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya. Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra. Jaya Kora Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya. Jaya 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 Sri Chaitanya. Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra. Jaya Kora Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. I'll mute myself again now.
Yeah, well, yeah. So anyway, as again, I'm not here. I just want to help the devotees. Because what else? I got nothing to lose and everything to gain. So that's why we do it. That's why I do this. So anyway, here we go. Now I understand that you, Lord Nityananda, are the full-fledged manifestation of the Lord's energy. You are not different from him. So see, again, Satchidananda. So the devotees in Parampara system, it's really meant that the devotees in the system, they're the part of the current that comes from Nityananda. See, Nityananda and Advaita and Lord Chaitanya connected. And that current, see that currency. See, that it's a current, that current of the same kind of bhakti, see, that comes through. So Lord Chaitanya is Satchidananda. Nityananda is Satchidananda. Advaita is Satchidananda. Their followers are Satchidananda, real followers. The false followers they're not there yet. But eventually they hopefully will become real followers. Okay? But it's free will. There's no guarantee with any of this. There's free will. Yeah. So if we will agree to go back into this consciousness of Satchidananda and surrender like this, then we can do it. See, and then you become part of the parampara. See, then it's this non-difference. Remember we read the verse yesterday, chapter 1 of Adi Lila, that Advaita was called Acharya because, first he was called, he was non-different from the Lord. So he's non-different, so he's Satchidananda. And he's Acharya because he's the leader, he's an authority, he's a teacher, teaching the cult of pure devotion. Right? So that's the Acharya in the world, is they're the manifestation, non-different Satchidananda, empowered by God, by Krishna. And they teach this cult of devotion so people can, this is actual something I can learn. Yeah, there's something you can learn. Yeah, and this is how you learn. Come into the association of devotees, associate with ecstatic devotees, realize that those who haven't realized Krishna, they cannot help you very well for this. And this is how you get the pot of gold, See, this is Acharya. They teach by example. They show you devotion and tell you about it, teach you. See? That's why the Uttamadhikari, they not only have bhakti awaken, see, the Madhyamadhikaris have bhakti awakening. See, but the Uttams are to the point where they convince you also to take to this path, if you're convincible, if you're not just full of false ego or other desires. People have other desires. But if you really want bhakti and you're really looking, these persons can convince you. You'll see, this person is an authority. This is what I've been looking for. Okay? And then, so those gurus are not looking at the essence, which is there, here, who you are looking for, love and devotional to preach, for they forsake them for cheap adoration. Yeah, this is the thing. They need pure worship. They need their hearts purified. When that happens, it's up to destiny. Hearts are purified here. This is what we're here for. The Lord he's the gardener. Remember, you connect with the true vine. This is the teaching of Jesus. You connect with the true vine, and the gardener gets activated in your heart, and he cleans up a lot of stuff. From outside, the devotees help. You notice we're helped together. Devotees come, and they help, clean in the cleaning of, especially like newcomers. And also the Lord is activated in your heart, and he cleans up the most. It's a Gunjicha temple pastime. And Jesus, this is what Jesus, see, the real guru is one, always preaching the same idea, the same conception, maybe different words, different analogies, but it's always the same thing. No, you have to hear from that guru, that one guru, that Krishna. See, that one guru is actually God, is Krishna. And he works through his mediums, his flutes. You got to find that person, and they'll tell you, you see how this relates in Jesus? You see how this prophet, what he really means? You see how it relates in the Vedas? See, the teaching is one. The confidential teaching is always one. Guru Tattva is one. See, so anything beyond Guru Tattva has not been preached very well or very elaborately yet. Only Lord Chaitanya did, and his devotees, and that's what we're doing. We're bringing people through Guru Tattva, which people need to know how to get this Lord of the heart activated, this devotion, and also go into Rasa Tattva, Maya Tattva. Get clear about who the devil is. You know, the Christians, they're not clear about this. They just, oh, he's just roaming around, you know. Yeah, he's roaming around. And you know, you got to learn that Maya, the truth about Maya, get it really clear. The truth about Guru, get it really clear. The truth about devotees, the devotional potency, sadhu sangha, get it really clear. What is real sadhu sangha? What is real devotion? What is the Maya? How does it work? What are the demigods? See? What is the mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance? All these things we discuss. See, greatly wonderful, you know, to understand these truths. What else is there to learn except the truth about everything? You ever thought about that? What else is there to learn but the truth about everything? Otherwise, oh, I'm going to learn all this knowledge of the world, which is all ignorance. For what? Well, so I can get a job. Okay, what are you going to do after that? I don't know. I just going to build a house. What are you going to do after that? Well, get some wife and get some kids and get some boats, get this and get that. And your big tree, a banyan tree in Bhagavad Gita, just grows in all entanglements and all that. For what? For illusion. Better learn the truth about it all, right? The truth about, hey, man, look what you've been doing for so many lifetimes. Look at these modes, mode of ignorance, mode of passion, mode of goodness. Look at this Shuddha Bhakti talks. What is Shuddha Bhakti? The truth about Shuddha. Shuddha Sattva, energy, potency, devotion, all these subjects. Can you imagine we discuss all these illustrious subjects here? Okay. The living entities can obtain loving devotional service at the lotus feet of Krishna simply by worshiping you. Okay, simply by worshiping you. Now, this is what a lot of people don't understand. And even in our Sangha, some devotees say, oh, you see, all I have to do is worship Nityananda, Nityananda, Nitai, Nitai, Nitai. Yes, and not exactly. You need a purport on that. Nityananda was a living person, right? 500 years ago. Lord Chaitanya was there. There's a living person there. He was a Satchidananda, manifestation of bhakti. The Lord sends in parampara. You worship a bona fide spiritual master and devotee, you're worshiping Nityananda. Otherwise not. Not really. You don't know who they are. Proof is, oh, they're all Nityananda, we love you. Look at all the Vaishnava worshiping Nityananda and Gauranga. But they don't see that Satchidananda. They don't know what it is, so they don't see it here. Hey, man, Nityananda was ecstatic. He laughed, he cried. We laugh, we cry. You don't think this is worshipable? You don't think this is worthy to give attention? Then you're not giving Nityananda attention yet. You don't know who you're worshiping. We're here to represent Nityananda. We represent his ecstasy. We represent his truth. See, the conclusive understanding. If you get this preaching, you get the real Nityananda. You got to get this word. This word is God. See? Literally. It's that book. It's not a false ego thing. This word is God. I'm telling you right there. I'm just screaming it out. That's God. That's God's word. And any guru saying something different, it's not God's word. It's his Maya's word. It's the shadow's word. Shadow of truth.
It's a cheat.
Yeah. It's shit. We need the chit, not the shit. The darkness is shit. Garbage. See, you need the word of God. And how you prove that the guy's not in false ego or the gal's not in false ego is you look at the book and you look at the experience of those who are listening to the word and look at them liberated. They're actually liberated by Krishna, by his word that comes through his authorized representative. That's what this means. See? Anybody, the living entities, can obtain loving devotional service at the lotus feet of Krishna simply by worshiping you. In other words, you see a devotee in ecstasy, you think, wow, this is really great. Oh, it doesn't have to be, ooh, oh, I think this is really great. Boy, I feel fortunate to see this. You know, this is really the truth. Even that, you might have an awakening of bhakti. You know, just give a little respect to those devotees and you will be helped along. But it's the same, you know, Satchidananda is what's worshipable. I worship my disciples who have Satchidananda. I glorify them. Why not? It's Satchidananda, it's my Lord. If my Lord is awakened and dwelling in somebody, they're worshipable. They're worthy to be glorified. They may not like it. They think, oh, why do you do this? You know. But hey, man, that's the way it is. The Lord is pleased when you glorify him and his devotees, his real devotees. Otherwise, you're glorifying, you know, you glorify these gurus and sannyasis and Brahmins, and they're not transcendental. You don't feel this. You don't feel like those who glorify Shuddha Bhaktas. You know, because if this is the whole world is glorifying what is mundane. Oh, Trump, oh, I'm a Trump follower. Yeah, is he a pure devotee? Does he have the symptoms of pure? No, I looked at him. I see what he said. He's a good guy, I guess, maybe. It ain't good enough. Hey, you're all Trump, oh, wave my flag. You know, even Vaishnavas or what do you call these? Christian, wave, oh, Trump, he's our savior. Oh, yeah, really, you're not quite getting it. Nothing in this world is worth glorifying because it's all part of the Maya. But what is worth glorifying is Shuddha Bhaktas, who carry the real transcendental Lord inside them. The empowered manifestations of Satchidananda. The real ones, not the fakes, not the imposters, not the ones that are just good. It's not good enough. This is why Paul's preaching was so powerful. He preached Holy Spirit worship devotion. You know, otherwise everything else is dirty compared. It's just dirt. Not like dirty. It's just dirt. It's all mundane material. People, if you're not awakened, you're still part of the earth or the demigods, celestial. It's still matter. It doesn't matter to devotees. See, highest truth, reality. See, we preach that, right? We preach Shuddha, reality, distinguished from illusion, everything else, including the mode of goodness. That's when you're delivered. You notice that's the only thing with Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta. They preached the mode of, see, they knew this, what I'm preaching. They put it in their books, Bhakti Vinod, but they preach Vaidhi, and that's what you get. That's the preliminary. Okay, you ready to move on? You ready to get something more? You got to hear this message, this confidential message. How do we come to universal love? Only through Gauranga Nityananda and Panchatattva. Yeah, I mean, you come through them, not only through them, but you come through their empowered representatives. Isn't that the way they sent it? Why do we have parampara? If that's all we needed, why don't we just go through the books and just go through them? And
It would die.
Huh? What?
It would die if there are no representatives who explain it and who delivered this frame again and again and again. It would just die.
Yeah. It just becomes rituals, and after a while, people get bored of rituals, bored of following them. They think, oh, why not do something else and enjoy the world? because it's just ritual empty. It becomes more empty. Okay, so this is the juice. See, this is the real juice. And here we come to the end. Yeah, and so the disciplic lines are kept alive through the living devotees. Even with Lord Chaitanya, before he disappeared, he said, "What am I going to do to keep this stuff going?" Oh, Nartam. He called Nartam. Nartam, the liberated soul. He called him. Nartam came to preach this. He went and collected it in the river. Very easy for him. Everybody was taking a bath in that river where the Lord deposited ecstatic love in that river. See? And so that's the secret. This is why these devotees are sent. You can't pick up that love very easily. See? So the devotees are sent here because everybody was taking in the bath in that river where that love was. They didn't pick it up. But he just took a bath once in that river and boom, he got the ecstatic devotion. Okay? That's the advanced devotees. They come here and love is deposited in these books. It's in the Bible. You know, when I read the Bible, I just read the book of John, just that one thing, one time. Boom. See, that bhakti of Jesus was deposited in there. I picked it up. So I say, you either, and most people don't. You need to have the living devotees. But if you brought it in from another life, you just go where it's been deposited. Well, it's in that Holy Bible, guaranteed. And as soon as I picked up Prabhupada's books, boom, it was deposited there. That same kind of love, only just a more elaboration on what is that bhakti. Okay? And so the point is, most people don't do that. Though therefore, that's why who's guru? Jesus is guru. Nobody knows. Who's Nityananda's guru? Nobody knows. Didn't need a guru. They had it from their previous existence. See? And so they just go where it's deposited. It's either in a devotee or some devotional paraphernalia or in the river, and boom, they're awakened. Prabhupada met his guru like that. Like that. Boom! They awakened because of previous. That's why they're sent here. And that's when and look, from that one candle, others, and then you come in parampara. You see, you got it from guru. Yeah, you didn't just, of course you got it pretty easy. A lot of the ones who get it fast, they get it pretty easy because they come where it's deposited. And boom, they get it. They couldn't quite get it from the book, but they get it from the devotee when they listen. And then you show the way for others. This is what everybody, hey man, you've been following Prabhupada for 40, 50 years as guru or follower, and you don't have this love. Why not come here and get it like you guys? It's the fulfillment. This is where you get it. Do you want Krishna? Do you want to know who you're worshiping? You want to feel that God? You want to feel that relationship? You want to have ecstatic love living in your life forever? And protecting you from all this illusion, these demons, the demigod speculations, and these false gurus who are not awakened yet. You want to awaken some of them like we do, or we will? Yeah, you get the power of the Lord working through you, and this goes on forever. Then the only reason you come here is that you can help people get out of this illusion. Finally, once and for all, not beating around the bush, worshiping false acharyas or false prophets, speaking their baloney, they're not realized souls. You become a conduit for the truth. Yeah. Okay. Whew. No wonder I can't participate in a kirtan here in the afternoon at my voices. Anyway, I think it's worth it. Yeah. So you guys, maybe you want to go. Are you going to go live there, Lalita?
If you want to, yeah, I will go immediately. But some devotees asked me don't go immediately because we are absorbed already by Guru Maharaj.
Yeah. You mean like they need a little break? Yeah. Take a little break. We all need. I need a little break too. Actually. Yeah, good point.
I can go live now, but then a devotee told me don't go, but then they go, and then I wait, and then sometimes.
So anyway, then you know what you do? Follow your inspiration.
Okay.
Sounds like there's some motivated advice over there, man. Watch out for that. They're transcendentally greedy.
No, I don't think so. I really think they meant it good, but then everybody is greedy.
Yeah. That's good. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, Johan even went on when I was on. He said, "Well, what to do?" I said, "Yeah, that's great. You're greedy. I like it.
Yeah.
It's important. You got to do it. You got to follow the inspiration. So hey, man, if you're inspired, do it. Trust it. There's Krishna inside. I'm not offended. You say, hey, man, you feel inspired, just do it. There's a message there, and I can watch the replay. They can watch it. Whoever, just do it. I'll talk to an empty camera. I don't, it's okay. And then people watch the replay.
You will never talk to an empty camera.
I did for years. I got a lot of practice. Then I started driving the world mad, and now they're accepting these words as truth.
Yeah.
That's why Lord Chaitanya said this Chaitanya Leela. I mean, that's why Prabhupada said Chaitanya Leela is postgraduate, because you got to kind of be a little transcendentally mad to understand it. You have to have this awakening. Otherwise, if you don't have it, it's very hard to understand it. So the only help is you hear from devotees when you're ready to hear. And then you start to pick it up and you start to really like, wow, this is really special.
And on the other hand, it makes you more easily transcendentally mad than the other books, actually. The mercy is very strong. It's the best book to start with, actually.
It's the best book. And that's why, Prabhupada, when I was doing this book, Chaitanya Leela, he said, yeah, this has my approval, do more of that. Because it's really the essence. Lord Chaitanya came here to relish mellows, which these books are, and to preach those mellows to others so that people can get it. So now we're at that phase. But still, I notice I feel inspired to go back to Bhagavatams and Bhagavad Gita, because some people need some that solid, they need a really solid preliminary. And so anyway, I just follow inspiration. Sometimes I go into that too. And yeah.
Nice variety.
Yeah, variety. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, bye-bye.